Okay, so we're going to talk about resistance bands. So in order to strengthen your shoulders and upper back, you do need some form of resistance, and the easiest thing to get hold of are resistance bands, and also because they're so easy to just have around the home, they don't take up much space and they're relatively cheap. So resistance bands are basically bits of elastic, and they come in lots of different levels of resistance. So that you get them in different lengths as well. So this one is just over a meter, I would say, and this is more of a medium strength resistance. So you can see they have different thicknesses. So this one, if you look at it here, and then I'm going to get something that's a little bit harder. So this blue one is the resistance is a little bit more, and you'll see it's a little bit thicker. Maybe you can't really see, but it is a little bit thicker to feel. And then you've got, see, this one which is a lot harder, is much thicker. This is a different type of band because it comes as a loop, which means you can do different things with it. But really, they're all the same. You can, if you're creative enough, you can use the strip bands to do a lot of the exercises. Whereas with the loop one, you can stand on it more easily. So it's just, you know, just being a bit more creative in how you use it. If you find that those resistance bands that you find in the shops are actually too hard for you, so when you do, let's say, when you're pulling the bands and you're finding that your wrists, for example, are starting to bend, and you're trying to do a back exercise and actually your elbows are bending, your back is bending, it's too hard for you, and that's the lowest level is causing you to do that. So let's say yellow ones tend to be the light ones. So let's say in your pack of 3, they normally come in a pack of 3, your yellow one is making you do that and it's too hard. Then maybe you need to revert to using the physio rehab bands to begin with. So they're TheraBands. Usually they're called TheraBands. There are other brands, but the resistance level of these are much lighter. So this one is actually more of a, from the rehab range, more of a medium resistance, but look how thin it is. It's almost transparent, and these are really easy to pull. And if you've got a shoulder injury, then this is where you'd be better off starting, because if you go for something too hard, your body won't be able to cope with it and you'll start to compensate. So instead of targeting the muscles around the shoulder that you want to target, you're going to start using your forearms, muscles around your forearms, probably your biceps a lot more, just because they're the bigger muscles and they will want to help you out. So lighter bands like this, there's an even lighter, there's a couple more lighter ones than this. I'm not sure I've actually got any, but these, as you can see, are much easier, and these are really great for people who are rehabbing a weak area or just can't cope with the strength of the ones that you tend to find in the shops. So different levels of resistance bands, it's worth having a selection of them so that you can improve. And then when you find you're able to do a good set of reps, so let's say you're 18 to 20 reps with one band, you would move on to your harder band and try to start from a lower number and work your way up again until again you find that, oh, I'm really good at doing it now, I can do 18 with the blue band now, and then you would move on to something harder. So having said all of that, if you haven't got resistance bands, some of these exercises you can still do with some weights. So if you've got dumbbells, you can do it with dumbbells, or a bottle of water, small bottle of water, that works out as about half a kilo. However, for shoulder exercises, I would say resistance bands work better because you get the feedback throughout the movement, and you can control it a lot more. With the weight, you're more likely to feel just the end range. I mean, you will feel it when you're lifting it up in front of you, but with the resistance band, it's just a little bit more flexible in terms of how much you feel and how much control you've got, and also you can control the intensity a lot more easily because of the stretchiness. So if you hold the band really close together, it's going to be harder. The further apart the easier it is. You've got a little bit more flexibility in terms of the intensity you want to train that muscle in.